word of caution before we begin. This story involves a real-life unsolved death. While we will not show any graphic content, the themes can be unsettling for some viewers. In December 1948, a man was found dead on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia. He was fully dressed in a suit, clean-shaven, with no signs of struggle and no identification. The cause of death was a complete mystery. The only clue, a tiny, tightly rolled scrap of paper hidden in a secret fob pocket of his trousers. On it were 2 words, Taman Shud, a Persian phrase meaning, "it is ended." No fingerprints matched any records. No one reported him missing. And later, a rare book was found, linked to the scrap of paper, containing a cryptic, coded message that has never been deciphered. Was he a Cold War spy, silenced by his enemies? A heartbroken man who chose a final, enigmatic exit? Or the victim of something far more sinister? For over 75 years, this man has been known only as the Somerton Man, and his story is one of the most baffling mysteries of the 20th century. On the quiet morning of December 1st, 1948, beachgoers stumbled upon a surreal scene. A man, dressed impeccably in a suit and tie, was lying against the seawall. His head was propped up, as if he were simply resting, gazing out at the ocean. His shoes were polished, his hands were neatly folded, and his face was calm. Police and even local lifeguards who arrived at the scene initially thought he was just asleep, but he was cold to the touch. He had died silently, perfectly, without anyone noticing. He carried no wallet, no watch, no papers, nothing to give even a hint of his identity. He was estimated to be in his mid-40s, about 5 feet 11 inches tall, and in peak physical condition, with an athletic build. The autopsy revealed his last meal was a pasty, eaten 3 to 4 hours before death, but the cause of death remained unknown. The coroner suspected a rare undetectable poison, but no traces were ever found. The man had simply ceased to exist, leaving behind a perfectly preserved body and a storm of questions. During a more thorough examination of the man's clothing, investigators discovered a tiny, hidden fob pocket sewn into his trousers. Inside was a small rolled-up piece of paper. When they carefully unfurled it, they found the printed words, Taman Shud. Police were baffled until a local journalist recognized the phrase. It was from the final page of a collection of poems called the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. The phrase meant the end, or finished. This sent investigators on a nationwide hunt for the specific book this scrap was torn from. The public appeal worked. A man came forward, revealing he had found a rare 1941 edition of the Rubaiyat in the back of his unlocked car, which he had parked near Somerton Beach around the time of the death. When police examined the book, they found the last page, with the words, Taman Shud, had been torn out. It was a perfect match, but the discovery only deepened the mystery. On the back of the book, faintly written in pencil, was a series of seemingly random capital letters. It was a code. Was this a spy's dead drop? The final message of a jilted lover? Some of the world's best cryptographers have tried to decode it. None have succeeded. Years turned into decades, and the Somerton Man remained nameless. Fingerprints and dental records were sent across the globe, from Australia to the UK and the United States, but no match was ever found. He didn't exist in any official database. This lack of identity fueled wild speculation. The Cold War was just beginning, and nearby weapons testing sites made the idea of a foreign spy plausible. Was he a Soviet agent on a secret mission, eliminated before he could talk? Or perhaps he wasn't a spy at all, but a man desperate to escape his past? Some even whispered that he might have been a wealthy local who elaborately faked his own death, leaving behind an unsolvable puzzle as his final act. He was a ghost, a man without a past, a riddle in human form. Let's return to the book, that rare 1941 edition of the Rubaiyat. The penciled code inside was unlike anything investigators had seen. It was 5 lines of jumbled letters, with 1 line crossed out. Intelligence agencies, from Australia's own security services to the FBI, examined the code. They believed it could contain anything from a secret alias to geographic coordinates, or a final, desperate message. Also in the book was a phone number belonging to a nurse who lived just a short distance from Somerton Beach. When questioned, she was evasive and seemed terrified. She admitted to owning a copy of the Rubaiyat and giving it to a man named Alfred Boxall during the war. For a moment, police thought they had their man, but Alfred Boxall was found, alive and well, with his copy of the book's final page intact. The nurse denied knowing the Somerton Man, but her behavior suggested she knew more than she was letting on. To this day, her connection to the case remains a tantalizing but frustrating dead end. Over the years, the Taman Shud case has become a breeding ground for theories, each more compelling than the last. The most popular is the espionage theory. The man was a spy, carrying sensitive information, and was poisoned by an untraceable substance to silence him. His athletic build and the coded message all point to a life of intrigue. Then there's the suicide theory. Perhaps he took his own life with a slow-acting poison, leaving behind a poetic, unsolvable puzzle for the world to ponder. Some analysts believe traces of a digitalis-based poison may have degraded before the autopsy could detect them. And what about the love triangle? The mysterious nurse, the book of poetry, the phrase, "It is ended." It all paints a picture of a romantic dispute gone tragically wrong. Did she play a role in his death? Was she protecting someone? We may never know. Despite an exhaustive investigation, the key questions remain unanswered. Police traced the origins of the man's suit, which was American-made, but the trail went cold. They interviewed the nurse multiple times, but she held fast to her story. They consulted handwriting experts who couldn't decipher the code or link it to anyone. Who was the Somerton Man? What did the cryptic code really mean? Why was no poison ever detected in his system? And who was the mysterious nurse? And what secret was she so desperate to protect? The lack of concrete evidence has allowed the story to drift into the realm of legend. It's a tale of shadowy figures meeting on foggy beaches, of Cold War secrets and international intrigue, plausible, yet ultimately unprovable. The Somerton Man was eventually buried in Adelaide's West Terrace Cemetery. His headstone bears no name, only the words, "Here lies the unknown man, who was found at Somerton Beach." The case has become a cultural touchstone for mystery lovers. His body was exhumed in 2021 in a renewed effort to identify him using modern DNA technology. Researchers are hopeful that they may finally give him back his name, but the results are still pending. For now, his identity, the meaning of the code, and the truth behind his silent death on that quiet beach remain one of the world's most captivating unsolved mysteries. A man on a beach, a torn book, a code that no one can decipher. Over 75 years later, the questions still outnumber the answers. The Taman Shud case is not just a mystery, it is a story of secrecy, intrigue, and the enduring limits of what we can ever truly know. Subscribe to Criminal Verse, where every crime hides a story.